All right. Hi, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Morgan here at Jotform. Welcome to today's Snack Break webinar, where I'm going to be sharing everything you need to know about our new auto delete submissions option in less than 15 minutes. This new feature allows you to automatically delete your form data at a set, pre-scheduled period of time, either on your account basis or on a form-by-form basis. I'm going to spend just a minute or so here talking about who might be interested in this feature or use cases of why you might want to take advantage of it. And then I'll go out into Jotform and show you a demo, where to find all of the settings, and then send you on your way. So you are probably aware that we consider Jotform's data storage, management, and analysis abilities really one of the major strengths of the platform. As people respond to your forms, the data is collected into tables, and from there you can review data, you can add to data, adding columns and rows to make it a database of all of your responses. You can export your data, you can analyze it and create reports. The data that you collect within Jotform when you're using Jotform isn't going to go anywhere unless you wanted to. But what if you do want it to go somewhere? We understand, of course, that not everybody uses Jotform in the same way and for the same purposes. And in some cases, the data maintained in Jotform may be a redundancy. Maybe you're transferring data using an API or webhook to third-party servers like Google Sheets or Airtable, or maybe you're just downloading it and analyzing it internally from your laptop. In other cases, depending on your industry, location, or other factors, you may even have a legal conflict with storing data within an external platform such as Jotform, maybe after a certain period of time. In these cases, you may still want to rely on Jotform's powerful forms for data collection, but when it comes to managing your data, you're going to be doing that elsewhere. And maybe you already even have it set up so that Jotform automatically pushes the data outside as soon as it comes in. If this is something that applies to you, maybe you're already using the auto delete submissions app integration, and it is true that we have an app that functions much the same way that this new feature does. However, the feature does it as a native setting within Jotform, so a little bit less room for things to break and a little bit easier to use overall, and it includes some new features that you can take advantage of. So at this point, I'm going to hop out into Jotform and show you how it works. One sec here. All right. So I am starting here logged into my account already with a form pulled up in my form builder tool. So this is where you'll be if you're creating a form from scratch or you're editing a form. You can see this is just a very short form. The form in this case is not what we're concerned about. Instead, I'm going to hop into settings. And what I want to show you is in the settings tab. Settings is essentially is where you'll find all of the settings that apply to your form as a whole. And form settings in particular, so the first thing you see when you click to the settings tab is where you have a number of choices regarding form accessibility and availability. So right off the bat, you can see, for example, that you can disable your form here after a certain period of time. But underneath this box is a show more options button that gives you a whole menu of choices, again, related to form accessibility and availability. So you can see it's a pretty extensive list, but about a third of the way down, so I'm scrolling back up here, a third of the way down is where you'll find the auto delete form submissions option. So if you want to apply the auto delete submission option to an individual form, what you're going to do is open that form up in the form builder, go into settings, form settings, and then look for it here. To go ahead and enable this, I'm going to hit this enable button. And the first thing you'll do is decide the time period after which you want data deleted. If you are automatically pushing data outside of Jotform, 1 hour might suffice. If you're more concerned about just not holding on to things for too long, you may want one of the time periods, that are longer out, 90 days or 1 year out. You have a range of options here. And at the top of this pop-up is the title of the form that you're working with. So I think that's a little bit of a gut check. So you can make sure as you're applying changes that you're applying them to the right form. Right underneath that, if you do have any submissions already, you'll see that there and you'll see when this was last modified. So I'm going to go ahead and select 1 hour and I'll hit the next button. If you do have submissions that fall outside of that time frame, so in this case, if I have submissions that are older than 1 hour, you'll next be asked whether or not you want to delete the submissions that you already have, so the data that you already have related to this particular form. So I do have a few in this case. To give you a sense of where you can look at those and manage those, I'm going to just jump over into tables. So this is the table for this form where you can see some sample data. It doesn't look like much because, again, this is a one question form, but if you have a long form with lots of people responding, this entire table here will be pretty filled out with all of that data. So again, from here, you can create reports, you can add columns or rows as you need. You can download all of this data here. You also have the inbox as an option to review all of your submissions. So inbox gives you the same data, but in more of an email format. So if you needed to respond to something or comment on something, you can do all of that here within inbox. But you can see I have these same 3 submissions over here. So I'm going to hop back into my form and I'm going to confirm that I want to delete those. The last thing you'll see is really just a confirmation that you are doing the right thing here. So it's letting me know that I've chosen to enable that 1 hour auto delete period. And it's also letting me know that I've chosen to delete the 3 submissions that I already have in there. So I'm going to hit yes, update. And now you can see this is enabled. There is a note here that this has been enabled. There is a disable button here. So if I change my mind or I want to hold on to data in the future, I can always come back and disable this. I'm going to this takes 1 second. So hopefully at this point, if I refresh tables, this data should no longer show up in there. So we'll give that a couple of seconds. But I did also want to point out that now when you go back into tables or into your inbox, you'll see a pop-up letting you know that data is being deleted. And if you have done that erroneously, you can go into your trash folder or just click got it to let the system know that you read the message. And again, I'm going to try refreshing this again. Just takes a couple of seconds to actually go in. Let's go into inbox and look at it there. So initially we saw the submissions in the inbox, but at this point, when I refresh my inbox, they should show up in the trash folder instead. And there we go. So now they show up in the trash folder instead of in inbox. And again, back in tables, the 3 submissions that I had in there will no longer show up. Same thing for as you're automatically deleting data, as soon as that time period comes up, that data will automatically go into your trash. I wanted to mention the trash can because the data isn't automatically completely getting wiped off the face of the earth. You do have 30 days to retrieve it. So if you made a mistake or if you want to go back and look at something, it'll be sitting in a trash folder for that 30 days. So from here, if I wanted to, I could fully delete these now, or if I wanted to, I could actually restore them as well. So if I click on this and hit this restore button, that will push that 1 submission back into my inbox. I can see that here. I still have that data in my account here. Now let's try tables once more. So now we should see the 1 submission that I just moved back to my inbox. But also with tables, you have the option to view previous versions of the table as well. So if you see all your data is gone and you wanted to see what data got deleted or you wanted to revert to the previous version, you can do that from here. At the title of the table is a drop-down menu, and in that drop-down menu is revision history. When you click on revision history, you'll see previous iterations of the table. And if you want to restore a previous iteration, there is a restore button where you can go back to that previous iteration. From here, if you want to delete this data again, you'll have to do that manually. So any data that you restore, you'll then have to update on your own. The system isn't going to delete it again. All right, so I'm going to go back into the form at this point and talk about applying this to your entire account. So far we've just looked at 1 individual form. If you wanted to apply this to your entire account, you do have the option to click here. So add a default deletion period to all of your forms. That brings you directly into your account settings menu onto the data tab here. And it's halfway down the page, the auto delete submissions here. So you'll click set deletion and then really just follow the prompts that look very similar to what we just did. except in this case, it's applying to your entire account and all of the forms and all of the data that you have rather than just one individual form. So I'm not actually going to make that change because I don't want to actually delete that, but I think, it's pretty straightforward from here. And again, it does look very similar to what we just looked at for one individual form. If you wanted to access this same page anywhere within Jotform, so you don't want to have to go into an individual form to delete, to make that change for your entire account, you can access your account anywhere within Jotform by going to your icon in the upper right-hand corner. And when you click on that, there's a settings option here, and that brings you right back where we just were. So from here, you'll just navigate to data, and there you go. Also, right underneath that is a history tab. History gives you a log of all of the actions that have happened in your account. So if you are, just wanting to double check that things are getting auto deleted, or if you are, missing something that you don't think should be missing, or you really just want to keep tabs on what's going on in your account, you can come here, check it out. It shows me the 3 submissions that I've just chosen to auto delete. And again, if you want to look more into anything that you see here, you can go back into your tables or your inbox and check it out from there. All right, so that wraps it up for the auto delete submission settings. I hope this has been straightforward. I think this is, again, a really useful tool for a number of people, and we've actually seen several hundred people in several thousand forms already using this feature in the past couple of weeks. So we know that there's a lot of enthusiasm about it. I'm not going to be doing Q&A in our snack break sessions because they are pretty short, but if you do have questions that I didn't answer here, or you want me to reiterate anything, I would be happy to hear from you. You can message me, morgan@jotform.com, MORGAN at Jotform. I'd also love to hear from you if you have use cases for this feature that you'd be willing to share, or really use cases in general. I just love hearing from Jotform users, and love seeing all the creativity that people have when using Jotform. So feel free to get in touch either way. If I can't answer your question personally, I'd be happy to direct you to somebody who can and get you on your way. All right, on that note, I'm going to close this out. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you at the next webinar.